Let's quickly discuss the answers for the questions that I had given you in the previous class and then move on with today's class. Let's take up the first question. Bahmani dynasty was established in the year 1347 CE. The answer there is 1347. Second one. Tajuddin Firoz Shah built a new city named Firozabad. The answer is Firozabad on the banks of river Bhima. Third one. The founder of the Bahmani dynasty was Alauddin Hasan Gangu Bahman Shah. I repeat, the answer is Alauddin Hasan Gangu Bahman Shah. Fourth one. Muhammad Gawan built the dash in Bida. The answer there is Madrasa University. Fifth. Muhammad Gawan worked as a prime minister under Muhammad Shah III. The answer there is Muhammad Shah III in Bahmani dynasty. So that's all with the fill in the blanks, children. Let's start today's class. The Bahmani Sultans have contributed in the following fields: education, literature, and sculpture. Let's take up education first. Bahmani Sultans encouraged Islamic education. Chanting of Quran was a part of the education. Kalburgi, Bida, Daulatabad, and many more places were Islamic educational centers. Poor people and orphans were provided free food and shelter. Scholarships were given to the students of Madrasa University. Quran philosophy and principles of Sufism were taught in the schools. What is Quran philosophy? They preach the ideas interpreted from the holy book Quran. Let's go on to the second topic, literature. Literary activities were greatly encouraged by the Bahmani Sultans. They sheltered many philosophers, poets, and writers. Firoz Shah, Muhammad Shah II, and Muhammad Gawan were writers themselves. They were also minister poets. Persian, Arabic, and Urdu literatures were prominent during their reign. The great Sufi saint and writer Bande Nawaz belonged to their period. The language that they had used became famous as Dakani. This Dakani language was later developed as Urdu language. Sculpture. The history of the Bahmani dynasty is famous for sculpture and architecture. The monuments in Bida, Kalburgi, and other places are in Hindu-Islam style. Now, what is Hindu-Islam style of architecture? This is generally a blending between the Hindu and Muslim architectural styles. It is familiar as Dakani style. If you remember, in Vijayanagara Empire, we had learnt that the architectural style was Dravidian type. That is, they followed Dravidian style of architecture. And here, it is familiar as Dakani style. So, this Hindu-Islam style of architecture is familiar as Dakani style. The first contribution of the Bahmanis is Jamia Masjid of Kalburgi division. It was built by Muhammad Shah. the tombs of the sultans are in Kalaburgi. They are also domed structures. The tomb of Bande Nawaz is another prominent monument of Kalaburgi. The Bidar Solakamba Mosque, which is situated inside the Bidar fort, is a 16-pillared mosque as its name goes. Sola Kamba. Sola means 16, Kamba means pillar. So Sola Kamba means 16-pillared mosque. And there are many more beautiful forts and palaces. These buildings are decorated and have carved wooden crafts on them. 12 tombs of Ashtur near Bidar are also famous. Ashtur is a village near Bidar. So there are 12 tombs of the Bahmani rulers. The prominent monument of the Bahmani kingdom was the Madrasa University, which was built by Muhammad Gawan, which is 56 feet in height and is a 3-storied building. After the death of Muhammad Gawan, Bahmani kingdom could not continue a strong rule. The sultans who came to power after Muhammad Shah III were incompetent rulers. And the last king was Sultan Kalimullah Shah. After his death, the Bahmani kingdom was broken into 5 states of Shahi. Now, you should know how they divided into 5 Shah dynasties. Earlier, a ruler would have extended his territory, and once the territory expands, it would be difficult for just one ruler to have control over all the regions. And hence, he would divide the land and appoint leaders to look into the local matters of the regions. Now, if in case the king dies and his successor is incompetent, these leaders will start their own kingdom in the regions given to them. So, this is how the Bahmani dynasty got divided into 5 Shah dynasties. Now, let's quickly summarize the important points that we learnt in today's class. Under education, we learnt about the Islamic education that was encouraged, chanting of Quran, which was compulsory and part of education. We also learnt about the few educational centers and the scholarships that were provided to the students of Madrasa University. Here, Quran philosophy and principles of Sufism were also taught in schools. Under literature, Bahmani sultans greatly encouraged literary activities. They sheltered many philosophers, poets and writers. Firoz Shah, Muhammad Shah II and Muhammad Gawan were themselves writers. Persian, Arabic and Urdu literatures were prominent in those days. Great Sufi saint and writer Bande Nawaz belonged to their period. The Dakani language that they used was later developed as Urdu language. Next, we'll move on to sculpture. The history of Bahmani dynasty is famous for sculpture and architecture. Their architecture was mainly based on Hindu-Islam style of architecture, which is familiar as Dakani style. Jamia Masjid of Kalburgi was the first contribution of the Bahmanis, which was built by Muhammad Shah. The tombs of sultans are in Kalburgi and they are also domed structures. The Solakamba Mosque is situated in the Bidar Fort. 12 tombs of Ashtur near Bidar are also famous. The prominent monument of the Bahmani kingdom is the Madrasa University, which was built by Muhammad Gawan, which is 56 feet in height and is a 3-storied building. After Muhammad Gawan, the Bahmani kingdom did not have a strong rule, and after the rule of Muhammad Shah III, the rulers who came to power were incompetent, and hence the Sultan Kalimullah Shah was the last ruler, and after that the Bahmani kingdom was broken into 5 Shah dynasties. With this, we complete today's class. I request you all to try and attend the questions in the upcoming slides. We'll then discuss the answers for these questions in the next class and then start with the Shah dynasties. Thank you. Have a nice day.